Well, hey friends, this is Jennifer, and this is the Jennifer Allwood Show, the podcast for women who want to find freedom in both their life and in their business. I own a multi-7-figure-a-year coaching business. I'm also a certified life coach. So I have the honor of helping thousands of women every single month make money in the online space and help them to get unstuck from whatever is holding them back, all without sacrificing their faith or their family. In this show, you're going to get the very best life and business advice, always with a healthy dose of Jesus. So buckle in, my friend. I'm so excited that you are here. Well, hey friends, welcome back to the podcast. This is podcast episode number 330. Going to do something kind of fun and funky today. I'm feeling a little froggy. So last week, I hosted a 3-day workshop completely for free on how you can have social success on your social media. I know that one of the biggest reasons that people are not having the types of sales that they want is because of their lack of followers on social media, the lack of the right followers on social media. They're not being consistent on social media. They're not understanding how social media is such an incredible tool to build their business. Maybe they don't like social media, and so they've got a little bit of an internal rub about it, what have you. But listen, if your social media following increases, the number of people who go to wherever you have a sales page and have something for sale should also increase. And the number of sales you have should also increase. That should be what happens. If you do this, then this should happen. If you increase your social media, then you should eventually be making more money. That's just how it is. It's really how it is. And so I hosted a 3-day workshop last week, and it was so good. It was so good. And on the first day, I did something that we call What's Working Now on social media. This is something I do in my inner circle every single month. And so I did like a condensed version for the folks that showed up for my social success training. And by the way, we had over 4,000 people sign up for this. It was amazing. And so what I thought we would do today is I'm just going to let you guys listen to that What's Working Now on social media. This is day 1 of my 3-day workshop. And so I think this is going to be super helpful for all of you who are in business. If you were in the social media workshop last week, listen to it again. You might pick up on something completely different this time. So without further ado, here is my training. Okay, guys, we've got a lot to cover in the next 50-ish minutes. And so I want to get started really quickly. And first of all, here's what I'd love for you to do. We do have the chat, right? I want to know if you are somebody who is brand new to me. If you're like, I have no idea even who you are. What's up with that hair, girl? If you're like, I just saw a Facebook ad. If you are brand new to any of my trainings, would you put that in the chat? I'm just always curious. Look at all those brand new people. Well, welcome. Let me give you just the 30-second overview of how I got here. So I'm a business coach to a couple of thousand women every single month. I actually started out as the owner of a painting company in Kansas City, Missouri, where I live with my husband and our 4 beautiful children. And I started that company back in the year 2000. And I figured out very quickly that if I was on Facebook, if I was on Instagram, if I put stuff on Pinterest, that I kept getting all these new clients for my business. So then I was like, well, hey, let's double down on Facebook and Instagram and Pinterest. And when I did that, my social media just kept growing to the point where then people were sending me DMs and they're like, how are you doing that? What are you doing on Facebook? You just got verified. You hit 100,000 followers, 200,000 followers, 300,000 followers. And they were asking me like, what can you teach me? How have you done what you've done with your social media? Because here's the truth. When your social media following goes up, your sales should also go up. That's how the two things work. They work in tandem, right? And so, at this point, we're at 350,000 followers on Facebook. Weird fact. Last month, Facebook rolled my page back an entire year and we lost 15,000 followers. And we lost all the content we posted for the last year. So, I have a love-hate relationship with social media because it grew our business to multi-7 figures a year because now I coach people on how to grow their social media and then how to make money off of it. But the love-hate is that it's always changing and it is not perfect. And yet it is the single best thing that you guys can do to grow your business without a lot of money. If people are telling you you have to pay to play, ignore them. They don't know what they're talking about. This month, I hit 1.49 million. So let's just say 1.5 million. I reached 1.5 million people on my Facebook page, and we were running ads for this workshop, but otherwise we weren't running ads for anything else. That is a really good reach on a Facebook page, guys. And so you don't have to pay to get your accounts in front of people. And so we're going to talk about what you can do today. This is me pulling up my blankie because I'm like a 900-year-old woman and I'm cold. We're going to talk today about what you can do to get more followers so that you can get more income. Listen, I don't want you to get more followers just so that you can like pat yourself on the back and feel like a rock star. A lot of times the follower count can definitely be a vanity matrix, meaning it makes you feel good, but you're not really making any money off of it. And so we want to get you the right followers. We want to make sure that the followers are equaling dollars. And so we're going to have a good time today. Okay. I will also say this: social media is not what it used to be. It was so much easier to grow your platforms 5 years ago. The cost of ads was way different 5 years ago. Reach was way different 5 years ago. Engagement was way different 5 years ago. And I will even say this: since 2020, when the world shut down, social media has even changed even more. So let me ask you guys, are all of you here? Well, let me ask you this. What business are you guys in? Could you put in the chat for me what business you are in? And then I'd also like for you to answer me after you're done putting your business in. Have you seen it become more of a challenge? It's not impossible by any means, but more of a challenge to grow your social media. I want to know that because I already know the answer, and the answer is absolutely. Okay. But here's the truth. Regardless of what you sell, whether you are selling a product, I see people selling products. I see people selling grief counseling. They're selling handmade things. They're selling furniture. They're selling vacations. Regardless of what you sell, when you get more followers on social media, you should get more traffic to your website or wherever you're selling things, and you should make more dollars. Okay. If one of your biggest business challenges for 2023 is to make more money in your business, we've got to get you more followers. That's the bottom line. We've got to get you more followers. Okay. Some of you're not making enough sales in the online space. And what happens is this seed gets planted, because here's the truth. The enemy of your soul does not want your business to be successful, ladies. He doesn't. Because when you have a successful business, it opens up freedom in so many parts of your life, and you're able to hire other people, which gives them freedom, et cetera, right? So the enemy always comes to steal, kill, and destroy, and that means your business. Don't get it wrong. That means your business. And so some of you have a lack of sales right now. And what you're doing is you're almost internalizing it. And you're feeling like, well, maybe I'm selling a crappy product. Maybe my professional gardener course, Gretchen, isn't good. Maybe somebody said they have a clothing boutique. We had people that do vacation rentals. You're thinking that what you have isn't good. And it's not that. You just have to change the way that you're positioning some things and get more eyeballs on what you're selling by way of more followers so that you can get more sales. I hate it that the enemy comes in and he discourages people, because what most of you need is you just need some more sales so that you can feel like, like you're cranking some stuff out and business is worth it and all of the things. And in order to do that, we need to get more eyeballs on wherever it is that you're selling things. And so that's why social media is so super important. Okay. So I want you to know that today what I'm going to do is give you a Cliff Notes version of what I do every month in my Creators Inner Circle. That is my monthly group that I've had for 7.5 years, where I teach women what to do on their social media and in their email so they can get more people on their email list, more people following them so they can make more money. Okie dokie. All right. So I'm going to pray just real quick. Father God, I just thank you for this time today. Lord, I pray that I would be smarter than normal, that I would represent you well, that I would communicate in a fashion that these women can understand. And I pray, Lord, that every single woman would walk away with an aha moment about what she can do on her social media to change her business, which can change her life. In Jesus' name, amen. All right. Grab a pen and paper. I know I talk fast. I'll try to slow it down. I always tell my husband I talk fast because I think fast. I'll try to slow it down, but you will have a replay. So don't freak out if you miss some things. Okay. But I want to start real quickly first with what's working now on social media. Here's the deal. The reason I know I'm always going to have a job in coaching and I always have a job in my inner circle is because what is working now changes all the time. If you're on social media at all, you know things are constantly changing, right? How many of you used to do Facebook Lives for your business? I did all the time. And that is no longer working anymore. How many of you are watching Instagram and you're thinking, do I really have to dance and point in order to be successful? By the way, no, you don't. But things are changing quickly. And so this is like a condensed version of the what's working now that I do every month, just to help you guys on some things that are things you need to be doing right now on social media. And then I'm also going to give you permission to not do some things. Because what happens is when we see this girl doing it this way, this one doing it this way, this girl over here doing it this way, we're told we need to do this, we need to dance, we need to point, we need to do TikTok, you don't stop, we need to do, what else? YouTube, we got to be on Pinterest. We start feeling frenzied and we start like going in a circle. Anybody feel like you're like a hamster on a wheel? So then what often happens is super overwhelmed women pull back. And then what happens is you come into my coaching group, I take a peek at your Instagram and I see you haven't posted in 3 weeks. And I look over at your Facebook and I see that it's been a couple months and that there's no consistency. And it's because you don't have any idea. Well, do I do this? Do I do that? Do I do this? Do I do that? And what most people need is somebody to just say, on this day, you do this. On this day, you do this. On this day, you do this. And so I want to help bring some of you some clarity today so that you can get some consistency, so that you know where to focus, so that you're not running around like a cat chasing its tail. Because the truth is, every single one of us in here, we're busy, right? We also have lives. A lot of you are married. A lot of you have children. The last thing anybody wants to do is spend an entire day just working their social media all the time, right? And so because it's a time suck and it also like is a peace stealer a lot of times. And so let's talk about what's working right now. All right. Now, with that being said about it being a peace stealer and all the things, here's what I need for you to know. 90% of you that are in here, probably you already have your business started. All right. And I want to give you just a couple of statistics so that I can first convince you that you have to be using social media. And then I'm going to tell you what to do and what not to do. Okay. All right. So listen, small businesses who are using social media in the year 2023 are going to see increased customer engagement. They're going to see brand awareness. They're going to see customer loyalty. They're going to see more traffic. They're going to see more sales. Okay. That's all of us. We all want all of those things, right? We all want more customer loyalty. What does that mean, Jen? Well, it just means people are going to come back and buy from you a second time, a third time, a fourth time. If you have a course, they're going to buy this from you and then the next thing from you and then the mastermind from you. We all want that, don't we? We all want more customers who stick with us longer. All right. Let me give you some crazy statistics from 2022. All right. In 2022, 302 million people were using social media. That is a lot, you guys. Of that, let's see, Facebook has 2.7 billion with a B monthly users. Instagram has 1 billion monthly users. You know what? I said 302 million. That was 302 billion at the beginning. I'm so sorry. But all of the social medias, TikTok has 689 million active users, regardless how you feel about TikTok. What I'm trying to tell you is that people are on social media. If you're not using social media for your business, you are missing this huge pot of people who would buy from you. In the United States, people spend an average of 2 hours and 14 minutes on social media daily. How many of you think that that's low? I think it's low. 2 hours and 14 minutes daily. I think it's low. 45% of all small businesses are using Facebook for their small business. By the way, Facebook is still the #1 platform where most small business owners are. And here's what we have to do and think about in terms of, the Bible says that we're to be wise as serpents, but gentle as doves. Okay. Wisdom is going where the people are at. Wisdom is, if the Bible says we're to be fishers of men, where are men at? By the way, it's not talking about men as in men and women, but they're right here. Everybody's got a phone in their hands at all times. And even if you hate Facebook, just know this, Facebook is still the giant. It's still where the majority of the users are at. It's also where most businesses are at because it's where most of the users are at. All right. Instagram, by the way, is the number 2 platform for business owners. So, and how many of you know that Facebook and Instagram are owned by the same company? Do you know that? Facebook and Instagram are owned by the same company. Think of them as like kissing cousins. If you're on both platforms, you can see how they're melding things together. You can get your notifications for both in the same place. You can, there's lots of things like that you can do. All right. But you see how you can see your notifications, your DMs in the same place. It's very like incestuous. I don't love it. And yet I have no control over it. So here we are. But, the majority of the people are still on Facebook to shop and they're still on Instagram to shop. So I just want to say that first of all, okay? Small businesses that use social media, listen to this, for their marketing, meaning they're putting up their course that's for sale. They're putting up their group that's for sale. They're putting up their shirts that are for sale, their t-shirts, their earrings, their whatever. And this could be service companies too. Remember, I used to own a service company and I built that thing on Facebook. But you grow almost 3 times faster than businesses that are not on social media. And one more thing. If you're going to use video for your social media, you'll grow 4 times faster than businesses that don't. So there you go. So now that I feel like I've maybe convinced you that you have to be on social media, here's what I want you to know. You don't have to be on all of the social medias, okay? You don't have to be on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and TikTok and Pinterest and Twitter and whatever other new thing is about to pop up. You don't have to be on all of the things. You don't have to be posting every single day. You don't have to be doing reels if you don't want to. You certainly do not have to dance and point. This girl's not dancing and pointing. Okay. I refuse to dance and point. You can go look at my Instagram. You'll see I've never danced and pointed. All right. So, you don't have to do all those things to still grow. Will some of those things help you? Absolutely. But you don't have to. And see, the thing that we have to remember about being business owners is the majority of us, we don't want to work for somebody else because we want to do what we want to do. We want to grow the thing that, we feel like God has given us in terms of an idea or, stewardship. And so we want to do it our way. We don't want to work 9 to 5. We don't want to, okay. Can I say something that's just really probably, you might not have ever heard this before. People that own businesses, we're not wired like other people. Can I just say that? We're not wired normalish. Most of us are not employable at a regular 9 to 5 anymore. If you're currently sitting at a 9 to 5, you're here because you hate it. We're not wired the same. So what I want you to know is you're already wired to kind of buck the systems. You're already wired to kind of buck what is seen as normal by society. You're already wired to kind of buck what people say, average should look like for you. You're already a dreamer. You're already somebody who has different goals and visions. You're already somebody whose mind works differently. And as soon as you begin to accept that, you're going to have so much more freedom in your business. And so I want you to apply that same, it's not a rebellious spirit because that's not biblical, right? But it is that bucking elbows. And I want you to apply that to social media. You don't have to do it the way other people are telling you to. You don't have to do all the things you're seeing that people are talking about. You don't have to post regularly. You don't have to post on every single platform. You don't have to do reels. You can do it a different way. And I want to help you to do that. What I'm going to give you today is just what's working. And then what I want you to do is I want you to take out the nuggets that are for you and apply them to your business. Reminding yourself that you can build your business any way that you want it to. No one is the boss of you. By the way, I wrote a book called Fear is Not the Boss of You. But also, the algorithm's not the boss of you. Engagement's not the boss of you. Reach is not the boss of you. Dancing and pointing is not the boss of you. So you can do all these things that I'm about to share with you. You can take what you want and you can leave the rest of it. Okie dokie? All right, let's go real quick. All right. I'm going to talk about 5 main things today that are what's working right now in the social media world. All right. And I'm going to go in depth in each of these. So the first one is I'm going to talk about Chat GPT, which will help you on social media. Give me just a second. I'll explain it. I'm going to talk about short form videos because that's definitely what's working now. Reels, TikToks, YouTube shorts, idea pins. I'm going to talk about relatable and shareable content. I'm going to talk about SEO. Yes, on social media. Back in the day, SEO was only for your blog, but now SEO is applied also to social media. And I'm going to talk about email. Can I ask real quickly, who here has an email list? Who here uses their email list regularly? That's a whole nother ball game. We talk about that in my inner circle all the time. I'm not going to talk about that a lot today, but let's start real quick with Chat GPT. Okay, so some of you have heard people talking about Chat GPT. And by the way, I think it has a dumb name. Can I just say that? The GPT stands for something really fancy schmancy that nobody can remember. I think it's got a weird name, but yet here we are, okay? So this is not necessarily, how do I explain this? Okay, Chat GPT is artificial intelligence. That's the bottom line. It's the newest tool available to help people like you and I, business owners, with our social media, with our emails, with our blog posts, with our sales page, with all of the things that we have to write, because part of us being a business means we have to be good communicators, right? So I have to if I'm going to have a 1.49 million reach on Facebook, that means that I have to type up a Facebook post. If I'm going to send you guys emails to get in here to this, social success week, we have to write emails. If I'm going to sell you something, I have to have it, written on a sales page somewhere. If I'm going to offer you an opportunity to get into my coaching group this week, I have to have posts written up. All of that takes time and brain work, right? Chat GPT is going to make that part of business so much easier. What I want you to know is it's a writing helper. There are many people that are concerned that Chat GPT is going to replace humans like content creators, and quite possibly it will. Just like when I go to Target, there are now self-checkouts that has eliminated jobs. This is the world that we live in. Now, I know that there are some Christians who are very they don't want to get into AI. This is a slippery slope. This is all of the things. Here's what I will say to that. First of all, act on whatever convictions you personally have. Same with TikTok, by the way. There's a lot of people who are like, I can't do TikTok. Grace to you. That's totally fine. I get it. But here's what I will say. There have to be some believers using Chat GPT in order to stake our territory in that space, and in order to be able to show people how to use it for good and not for evil. All right. Chat GPT went from 0 to 1 million users, you guys, in 5 days. And I think it was in November. It took Facebook 2 years to do that. 2 years to do that. And so here's how you actually use it, because I want you to think of it as like a search engine. So I can go to Chat GPT, and I was going to try to show you guys, but let me see if I can share my screen right now. Oh, I can. Look, my team's so good. This is what the screen looks like. So you go to openai.com. Will somebody put that in the chat? Openai.com. And you can try it. But right now, here's the error message that a lot of people are getting. They have had so many people who have tried to get on it in the recent month or so that they're a little bit bogged down. So you might have to try and then try 15 minutes later and then try the next day or whatever. But it's at chat.openai.com. Let me say that again. Chat.openai.com. Basically, I can type in, think of it as almost like a Siri or an Alexa. I can type in, write me a Facebook post on how to get people to show up for my social success coaching week. And then it'll write it. And then I can say, okay, rewrite that in a voice that sounds funnier. And then it can rewrite it. And then I can say, okay, rewrite that in half the words. And then it'll rewrite it. You guys, a book can be written in a matter of seconds. A sermon can be written in a matter of seconds. Kids' papers for homework at college, at high school level can be written in seconds. Teachers are a little concerned, and rightfully so. So it can write anything. Write me a recipe using these 3 ingredients. Write me an ebook writing this. Write me a sales page where I can teach people how to do dog walking from home. Write me a blog post about 5 ways that you can do outfits when you're a woman over 50. It is, it's pretty intense, the ability that it has. I just want you to know that. You basically give it a command and it basically spits out answers. Tracy, would you put in the chat right now that I have a list of 20 ways that you can use Chat GPT for your business, some helpful strategies. It's at jenniferallwood.com/chatgpt. And that's GPT as in Gary Peter Thomas. And I can't even remember what those words stand for, but it makes no sense to my logical creative brain. Okay. All right. So I want you to know that is one thing that is working on social media right now because it's a tool. And so it's helpful. Second thing that's working right now on social media is short form videos. They're working across all platforms. So what do you mean by like a short form video, Jen? Well, that means reels on Facebook and Instagram, shorts on YouTube. And if you don't know how to find a YouTube short, our kid, my daughter Ari, she's 8, she loves to look for YouTube shorts. So you literally can go to your desktop and you can go to YouTube and then just do a search for #shorts. Or if you're on your phone, just go to the very bottom of the app on your phone. You'll see where the shorts are at. Video pins on Pinterest. How many of you are here that use Pinterest for your business? I do. We get a lot of traffic from Pinterest, you guys. It's wild. And then anything that you put on TikTok is considered a short form video and is going to do well. So why is short form video so popular? Well, remember back 3 or 4 years ago when we used to do Facebook Lives all the time? Anybody remember sitting and watching people paint? Anybody remember sitting and watching me paint? Anybody remember like listening to people talk on Facebook Lives? And, back when I was doing my coaching then in my inner circle, I would tell people it's got to be at least 15 minutes. It's got to be at least 15 minutes. Well, one of the things that the pandemic has done, it has ruined our attention span. Ruined it. People no longer will sit through 15-minute videos on occasion, maybe. If you're if you're, what's the Ross guy's name? David Ross, Bill Ross, Jim Ross. What's his name? The painter with the happy thing. Bob Ross. Thank you. Bob Ross. Actually went as Bob Ross to a Halloween party once way many years ago. But, so that is like something that people will listen to. But the truth is our attention span is so much lower, you guys. It's so much lower. And so even though that used to be popular right now, it needs to be under 3 minutes. On Instagram, they want you to do like a 10-second or less video for reels. That's what's going to get the most traction. And the reason is because people watch it over and over and over. Let me give you some ideas of what you could do for videos, because here's what a lot of people say. Okay, Jen, I hear you, but I have no idea what I could actually do a video on. Okay. So you could do an informative video, like a how-to, like how to style an outfit with jeans in 5 ways. You could do a time lapse of you decorating a room. You could do something that's like a process, like you're doing a quick video of you making something, baking something, creating something. You could do a before and after. I've done several videos on Instagram of me putting on my makeup. And so you could do that. You could remix a video where you see something that's already viral. One of my reels that I did on Instagram was when Southwest Airlines was having issues a couple of weeks ago, and I'm an avid Southwest flyer. We fly several times a month anymore, and I always use Southwest. And so I saw something on TikTok about why they were having so many issues. So I shared it as a reel to Instagram. It did great. You can do a green screen video where you're teaching something. You can do your like top 5 tips or tricks, how to lose 10 pounds, anything like that. But you don't have to dance and you don't have to point. Okie dokie. All right. So that's one thing that's working really well right now. Second thing, any static content. So I'm not talking about reels necessarily, that is relatable or shareable. So here's something else that was super changed by the pandemic. People want to be seen and they want to be heard. People want to be seen and they want to be heard. Okay. So if you will post things on social media where people will see it and they'll be like, I relate to that. That person gets me, especially if you're like an influencer, even if you don't want to be, if you're a thought leader or if you're a coach. When you're posting things that people look at and they're like, oh my gosh, yes. Or, oh my goodness, me too. That is the stuff that does really, really well on social media. So it can be a quote. It can be things that are funny. It can be sarcasm. It can be cryptic types of things. And if you're like, well, you're talking about cryptic types of things, Jen. So you all know exactly what I'm talking about. You see somebody that posts something like, instead of telling them, go do the thing and show them. And then it's got 5 million shares because it's cryptic. And people are dealing with stuff in the background. They're dealing with, birds chirping, people doing whatever. So people will share like cryptic-y types of things like that, where when they read it, they're like, yep, yeah, absolutely. And that's the sort of thing that gets shared. Does that make sense? Somebody tell me that. Making like a really simple image, out of a simple quote, that'll do really well. We have been recently sharing a lot of just quote graphics. You can go look at my Facebook page and see it. I've also been doing in the last couple months, I'll put a tweet on Twitter where I get very little engagement, by the way. My ideal person is not really on Twitter. But I'll put something on Twitter and then I'll take a screenshot of it and I'll upload it to either Facebook or Instagram. You can see that I did that last night. Those do really well. Okay. Brittany says that doesn't make sense. I'm not sure what doesn't make sense, but let me know if I can help you. Another thing that will do really, really well on social media is content that is either controversial or polarizing. Now, listen, if you are somebody who is selling a product and you're selling hair extensions, like Tracy Lazo, who's in my social media or in my mastermind, you shouldn't be posting things that are controversial and polarizing because people are watching you for your, hair extensions, which I don't know why I just grabbed my hair. That is not an extension. Unless you're saying something like, most extensions do blah, 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 but our extensions do this. That is actually considered a lot of times controversial and polarizing content. So when I say that, sometimes people think that they're supposed to be posting things that are political or that have to do with their faith. And I'm like, no, not necessarily. Not necessarily. Back when I owned a painting company, I never liked chalk paint. All right. You can send me an Instagram if you want. I've had a million of them in my career on social media. I was not somebody that used or liked chalk paint. And so I would post about it. Don't use chalk paint on your cabinets. It's not going to last. It can't hold up to like the oils and things in your kitchen. Oh, people would have a fit. But listen, if you are wanting to be successful on social media, you are going to have to be okay with some people disagreeing with you if you're going to post content that has the opportunity to be disagreeable. Does that make sense? Keep it related though to your industry or niche as much as possible. And understand that even all those people who might comment on your post, I love chalk paint, I love chalk paint, I love chalk paint. It's all engagement and it's all helpful with reach. Somebody says, how do you get past your fear? Here's how I get past my fear. Number one, I remember what God has called me to. I know that I'm called to coach women to make more money for their families. I know that. And so that means that I need to talk to my ideal person, the person that I can most help with my coaching. That is somebody that is using social media, that is trying to do business online. That is somebody whose faith is important to them. That is somebody who doesn't want to give up her family or her faith to grow her business. Her priorities are probably in alignment with mine. And so I have to speak to her, which means that there are times that I will post things on social media that are like, listen, don't be messing around with manifestation and tarot cards and other things in your business. You mess with fire, you're going to get burned. That could be considered controversial or polarizing content. But what it will do is it will eliminate these people over here from wanting to work with me, which is okay. And it will magnetize these people over here that do want to work with me. And those are my ideal people that I can help the most. Does that make sense? And so when you are trying to be for everyone with your content, you're for no one. When you are trying to attract all people to buy your stuff, you're not attracting your right people. When you're afraid of raising your prices because then you're going to eliminate a whole section of buyers, listen, this is business. We are not playing patty cake, ladies. This is not in my notes, so I'm assuming that the Lord's having me say this for somebody here today. The second you begin to treat your business like a business and quit playing with it like a hobby is when it will actually begin to pay you like a business and not as a hobby. That's the truth. Businesses that are legit and making money and making substantial money, they know they're not for everyone. Well, I remember one of my business coaches, Stu McLaren, he said one time to me, he said, Jen, this is how you need to think of it. Love me or hate me, but there's no money in the middle. And we so badly want to be like neutral so that everybody loves us and everybody wants to buy our product. And that is not helping your sales. Now I'm getting into the coaching that I do in my coaching group, but I want to get back to social media. But so number one, I know her question was, how do you get over your fear? Number one, I know what I'm called to, what God has for me in this season. And that's to teach women like you how to grow your business so you can change the financial trajectory of your family and your children and your children's children, which is biblical. That's what I'm called to. I'm called to model that for you. Number two. So that's number one. Number two, I know that I've got a husband and 4 children who they're dependent upon mom getting over herself, getting over her fear, and doing the thing that God's calling her to do in order to eat. Turns out we have to make money in order to pay the bills. And some of you, like the best thing that could happen to your business right now is if you had that like, oh gosh, this business has got to make some money. It's sink or swim, baby. Like I can't quit toying with it and playing with it. And when you have that deep conviction that you've got people depending on you, you'll get over your own self because fear is very me-based. Fear is very like focusing on all of our emotions. And I want to be more concerned about what God has for me and what my family needs from me. Third thing is I've got a community of women. I've got you guys. I've got the 2,000 women that I'm coaching every month. You guys need for me to show up and get over my own fears. And so that's how I get past the fear. So hopefully that helps. All right. Let's talk about SEO really quickly. Okay. This is a third thing that's working right now with social media. SEO used to be something that's called search engine optimization. So it's basically using keywords to make sure people can find your product, your course, your website, whatever, when they're doing searches on Google. Okay. And so it used to be that applied really only to like your blog and your website and all the things. But now social media all the platforms are getting so much smarter with their SEO capabilities, meaning hashtags, I don't think work. Also, I'm lazy and I don't use very many hashtags, but you can now go onto Facebook and just do searches for keywords and things will come up. You can now just go into Instagram, or not just now, but you can go into Instagram and just do a search for a keyword and it will come up. But that requires that when you are naming something, when you are doing your Facebook post, when you are giving a description to your reel, that you're making sure that you're using the words that perhaps your ideal person would be searching for. Does that make sense? Yeah, Ann, I hate the hashtags also. Just don't do it. I've grown just fine without using hashtags. I've got 105,000 followers on one Instagram account, 26,000 on another. I have 2 accounts for our different VRBOs. They're all growing just fine without using hashtags. So there's that. So SEO is something that will grow your business 3 times faster is what the statistics say. If you're putting good keywords in all of your descriptions, that means like your bio on Instagram. That means your bio on Facebook. Make sure that there are keywords. So like mine will always have words about women, online business, and faith. They will, because those are like the 3 components that make up the majority of my clients. So hopefully that helps. 4th thing that's working super good right now is email. Okay. And I'm going to go through this really fast because I'm looking at the time and I'm like, holy smokes, how do I get done in 6 minutes? How do I get done in, we'll go 10 minutes. Okay. Businesses that use email sell so much more, you guys, than businesses who do not. The statistic is that you have 3 times the sales. I don't know who comes up with the numbers. I don't know who just yanks them out of somewhere, but maybe they're asking Siri. I don't know. But here's what I know to be true. Whenever we are trying to get somebody into one of my coaching groups, maybe we've got my mastermind open or something, 3/4 of our sales come from our email list and not our social media. And I have way more social media followers than what I do on our email list. Way more. All right. So social media and email, they go hand in hand. You need to do both. The one good thing about email, and I talk about this all the time in my inner circle, is that I'm getting lost my blanket here, is that you have so much more control over your email than you do your social media. Because when you have a Facebook, when you have an Instagram, when you have a Pinterest, a YouTube, whatever, we're just renting online space. Essentially, there's no exchange of money, but you're using online space that you don't have any control of, nor do you own. If you violate a terms of service, if you make a mistake, if you do something you shouldn't, you can be easily taken down. It's harder for them to do that on your email. And so having an email list, imperative in 2023, imperative. If you have not started an email list for your business yet, that should be one of your main goals for 2023, quarter one. Quarter one. Ladies, listen, if you're going to grow your business this year, it cannot be you just putting things off for another 6 months, which leads into another year, which leads into it's 2025, which leads into 2026. And you're wondering what in the heck just happened. All these years have gone by and you still don't have a business that you want. You've got to start doing things now. It's not as scary as you think it is. What's scarier is staying stuck. Can I say that? What's scarier is staying stuck. So we talk about email a whole lot in my inner circle for that very reason. So I want to talk about Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok real quick. All right. I need you guys you need to whip out your notes really, really fast. So when it comes to Facebook, ads are still working. They really are. They're expensive, but they really do still work. We only run ads when we are trying to build my email list or we are trying to get people into a workshop like today. You can do reels on Facebook if you can get access to that. I personally cannot still do a reel on my Facebook page. Update your app, see if you can. What's not working on Facebook anymore is going live. It's just not. Okay, it's just not. On Instagram, what you need to be doing, if you have the capacity, is to do reels. If you're like, Jen, I have no idea where to start. One of the things I want you to do is I want you to go to my Instagram. Okay. So if you log on to Instagram and you open up mine, I am one of the laziest people on Instagram when it comes to reels, and yet I still have plenty of them. Why can't I get to it? Okay. So when you open up Instagram, there's like 4 things right here. The second one over is reels. You can't see that, I know, because of the sun, but, and that will show you every reel that I've done ever. Use some of my reels. You need to be selecting things that have trending audio. If you don't know what trending audio is, it's whenever you see the music down below or the voiceover or whatever, there's a little arrow next to it. That means it's trending, but you can use any of my reels to make your own. Essentially, start playing with it, push on the buttons and figure out how to create your own. You can't break it. The thing is, people want me to show them how to do reels. And I believe tomorrow, Nell and Mackenzie are going to be showing you some. So make sure you guys come back tomorrow. But having a lot of reels is going to help grow your Instagram if that's where your people are at. The other thing is carousel graphics, which is just the fancy word for putting words onto a post and putting mini words onto mini slides one after another. So instead of, reading a long post on your Instagram, having the words on the screen and people just have to read and do this, that is a carousel graphic, okay? The other thing I want you really focusing on your Instagram is your bio. I am shocked at how many people are not using every single space available to them in their bio. Your bio needs to basically say your claim to fame, and it needs to tell people what you do and who you're for. I sell earrings in a monthly subscription box for the busy mom who has no time to go shopping. I have something like, I teach women how to make money in 8 different ways in the online space. Get into my free workshop below. It needs to be super specific with no fluff. The fact that you love raw chocolate chip cookie dough like I do doesn't belong in your bio. The fact that you are a wife, mom, and a believer doesn't belong in your bio. I know I just stepped on somebody's toes and you're like, oh, that was sacrilegious. No, it's not. You can have a cross. You can have stuff in your content. But listen, Hobby Lobby doesn't have Jesus in their bio. Chick-fil-A doesn't have, we're a Christian company, in the bio. It's okay that you put it in there, but what you want to do is you want, when people look at your bio, to know why buying from you or working with you would be a good thing for them. For them. Does that make sense? All right. Pinterest. Who here is using Pinterest? The thing that's working most on Pinterest right now are ideal pins. They used to be called story pins, but they're ideal pins. You need to make sure, if you're using Pinterest for business, that it's a business account, and you need to make sure that you're linking to your website, and your bio really does matter. It used to be that the number of followers you had on Pinterest really didn't matter, but it does matter a lot more now than what it used to. Okay. So that's Pinterest. And I cannot believe we're running out of time. I want to talk about TikTok real quick. Who here is on TikTok? Let me know if you are. TikTok is the platform where you can grow the fastest right now. It really is. It's also the platform that is most susceptible to being taken down. So you can grow really fast, but there's always conversations in Congress, et cetera, of what should happen with it. I personally do not believe TikTok will be taken down. I do believe that it will be bought out. And I do believe that it will be an American company that buys out TikTok. That's what I think is going to happen. I don't know. Hang tight. But if you have no personal qualms against using TikTok, you can grow faster there than any other platform. The algorithm is very smart. People stay on the platform for a long, long time. On any of the social medias, here's what's not working right now. Perfection. Having a perfectly curated feed, perfect photos, none of that is working. Having a super long caption, not working. Why is that not working, Jen? Because people, remember our attention span, it's so stinking short, you guys. It's so short. Those are the things that are not working. The Facebook Lives, no longer working. Instagram Lives, that's a waste of your time. Unless you just have the ability to go live on Facebook and Instagram at the same time, but you're not going to gain a lot of traction on either. And the Instagram Lives, like, they go away. They're going away, by the way, they're going away. So don't waste time on those. If you have capacity to do any video, do TikToks and do Reels. Okie dokie. All right. So listen, you've got to be on social media for your business. Your future and your bank account, they both depend on it. And we have got to meet people where they are. And people are right here. Your clients are here. Even if you have a brick and mortar in your local community, your clients are still here. They look at your business to see if you look legit. And if your business does not look legit, I promise you they're not hitting the follow button. I promise you. So listen, we've got 3 things that we want you to do so that you can be entered into a drawing to win a year of my coaching program. So my coaching program is called the Creator's Inner Circle, because we're all creating a life in the online space, creating a life that serves us with more freedom and more finances. So, it's over an $800 value for you guys to win that. So one person is going to win. We're going to announce it on Thursday morning. I'm going to give you 2 action items real quick, and then we're going to wrap it up for today. Okay. So first thing, number 1, if somebody will put this in the chat, there was a graphic emailed to you on social media. If you can screenshot that and post it into our Facebook group, and then use the hashtag action item. Action item. I think Tracy is going to share that graphic back into the Facebook group again, so you still have it. So that's number 1. Share the graphic that was emailed to you. Share it on social media. Okay. Number 2, the action item is, we wanted to have you get on to Chat GPT and try something because it's fascinating. The reason some of you are intimidated by social media is because you just haven't gotten onto different things and tried it. Trying it is the best learner. No, trying it is the best teacher. You can be the best learner if you just try things. But the action item number 2 of getting onto ChatGPT, for a lot of you, it's not going to work because it's still like really bogged down and still saying it's currently down. The huge demand has caused this site to crash. You don't say when you hit 1 million users in 5 days, that's what happens. So instead, we're going to give you that next action item tomorrow, I think, because I don't feel comfortable telling you guys your action item has to be get on ChatGPT. I'm afraid a lot of you are just going to sit in front of your computer all night tonight and just keep refreshing. So we're just going to give you action item number 2 tomorrow. Okay. I just made a game time change. I think my husband calls that an audible. Is that what I call it? An audible. Okay. So listen, I want you guys to come back tomorrow for a work session with Mackenzie and Nell. So Nell's the one that introduced me today. She's my director of operations. Mackenzie is phenomenal. She is project manager for Team Allwood. They are both coaches inside of the Team Allwood world. And so they are going to talk about how to plan social media content. Who could use that help? They're going to be talking about how to do a short form video. They're going to give you a demo of ChatGPT, God willing, we're able to get on tomorrow, and some more. So who can come back tomorrow? Anybody? Buffy will be back. Terry will be back. Tammy will be back. Awesome. They will be here with you tomorrow. I'll try to pop in and out, and then I'll be back with you all day on Thursday. Okay. So was this helpful for anyone today? Did anybody learn something about social media? Anybody feel like they got a fire lit under them just a little? Okay. Listen. You're going to need to get on social media. You're going to need to be consistent on it. You're going to need to figure out what is sustainable for you to do. If it isn't Reels, if it isn't being on, Pinterest, then don't do that. Figure out what works for you, for your life. Go all in on it, but get on social media and be using it for your business. Okie dokie? All right, my friends. I'm going to plan on seeing you guys tomorrow. Thanks so much for being here. Bless you all. We'll see you. Bye-bye. All right, friends. Hey, if that training was good for you, if you were like, dang, girl, I learned something about Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or whatever, if you feel like that gave you some value and you're like, I wish that I had listened to all 3 days, you can go to jenniferallwood.com/social success. jenniferallwood.com/social success. And you can get all 3 days of that training for free. It was a free training just to try to give people some insight onto how they can grow their social media in 2023. So go again to jenniferallwood.com/social success. You can get all 3 days there. And I will see you next week on the podcast. Bye-bye. Friend, thank you so much for listening to the podcast again this week. I'm so honored that you come back for every episode and that you share the Jennifer Allwood Show with your friends and family. Every time I see you guys post about it on Instagram or Facebook or something, it just makes me do a little happy. So thank you. Make sure that you subscribe to the podcast if you never want to miss an episode. So you can go to Apple Podcasts or Stitcher or Spotify or any of the other podcasting places and subscribe each week so that every week you get the new episode when it releases. So just know that I love bringing you relevant content. I love bringing you great guests. And one of the ways you can help us here at Team Allwood is by leaving the podcast a review. So if you have just a second to do that, would you go over and leave a review for the Jennifer Allwood Show? Thank you again. You're amazing. I'm honored to be here. Until next week. Bye-bye.